Good morning, it's Sunday, and every Sunday I have grocery pickup to do, so I'm gonna start at Walmart and then Hy-Vee and then make my way back home, and I'm gonna do some cooking today. So St. Patrick's Day is coming up, it's on Tuesday, and I am going to make corned beef and cabbage and German potato salad. This is what I used to have every St. Patrick's Day growing up. My mom would make it, and so I just wanted to recreate that today. So we're gonna cook that together, and part of my grocery pickup order is the larger cells for planting things that the roots don't like to be disturbed. So that'll be for the delphinium, maybe even the tomato, and I don't know, I might plant some Chinese forget-me-nots in there. I don't know, we'll see. It's so gloomy today. It's supposed to snow and in some parts of the state blizzard, so it doesn't feel like gardening weather, but it needs to get done. I need to get those started so that they can start growing and that they're ready to be put outside when the time comes. So big plans today. Gonna take you along for the ride, so let's go to Walmart first. Okay, so I just got back from the grocery stores from Walmart and Hy-Vee, and so I picked up a few things to make that corned beef and cabbage and then the German potato salad. And I also got a larger cell seed starting kit. And then the other gardening item I have is this plant Velcro. This will be for when the tomatoes are in the tomato cages so that I can Velcro them to the tomato cages so they don't blow off and break in the wind. That was a problem last year. So. Other than that, I've got the crescent rolls that I used for making runza casserole with the leftover runza meat from last week. I got these new lime slush Alanis that I want to give a try to. I love lime slush. Fun fact about me, I worked at a golf course like food stand for like their pool area, and they had lime slushies, and every time that I worked I made myself a lime slush, and so I'm excited to try these. So that's the grocery haul. I'm gonna get these put away and I will bring you back when we start cooking. Alright, so we're going to start making that corned beef. I'm going to make it in a crock pot today. That's how my mom used to make it growing up, so that's just what I'm going to do. So I got this corned beef brisket from Sam's Club. It is flat cut and it is a little over 2.5 pounds. So I'm going to rinse this off and get it in the crock pot with some onion that I had in my freezer. Got red onion and white onion that I'm going to throw in there, some water, the seasoning packet that's in here, and then a couple cloves of garlic as well. So I'm going to get that started here. I'm going to put a pair of gloves on. I don't love touching raw meat, so that is step number one here as I get this out and take it into the sink to rinse it real quick. So now that I've got the corned beef roast rinsed off, I'm gonna put it here in the crock pot with the fat side facing up. And I'm gonna add a few more ingredients here, but I'm just gonna go ahead and kick it off to 8 hours on low is the setting that I'll have it on. But I'm gonna go ahead and dump this seasoning packet that it came with in. Alright, so I'm going to get a couple cloves of garlic minced up and thrown in. We'll do about 4. Alright, so we got a roast here. I'm going to add in this minced garlic and then I'll add in the liquid. Now you add 3 cups of water or beef broth, and I don't have any beef broth, so I'm just going to go with water for now. That was 2, 3 cups. And I'm going to throw in the onion. Got some white onion and maybe just a little bit more red onion in there. And the last ingredient that I'm going to be putting in right now is a tablespoon of just white vinegar. Now that's pretty much done for the corned beef. I'm gonna put the lid on and I'm gonna leave it set here on low for 8 hours. You could also do high for 4 hours, but the longer that you let it set, the more tender the meat will get, and that is the kind of meat that I like. So we're gonna let this set and I will come back to you when I start working on the side dishes. All right, we're back in the kitchen. Last time I saw you, it was around 11 o'clock when I started the corned beef in the crock pot, and it is about 5 now. I am getting going on the German potato salad, and so I've got water boiling behind me. I'm gonna peel up these potatoes and get them in that boiling water, get them boiling and started on the potatoes. Now that I've got my 4 potatoes peeled here, I'm going to drop them into that boiling water that has a little bit of salt in it. This next step, it's important to keep an eye on the potatoes and not let them get too soft because we're not mashing these potatoes, so you don't want to let them boil too long. But I'm going to go do that. Woo, that was party. The recipe says to cook the potatoes in the boiling water for 20 to 25 minutes, but I feel like that's going to be a little too long, so I'm going to keep an eye on them, make sure that I catch them when they're just the right amount of tender for this potato salad. I keep wanting to say casserole, and it's not a casserole, it's a salad.
I'm gonna play that's not enough. Oh, it feels pretty tender. That one's definitely good. Oh yeah, that one's good. Okay.
So I just took the potatoes out of the boiling water. It did take about 25 minutes, so I'm going to let them cool for a little bit before we cut them up and get them cooking in with the bacon grease that I reserved earlier. So I made bacon in the air fryer earlier today, and I saved 2 tablespoons of the grease and I set it aside for this next part of the project. So we're going to use that bacon grease as we cook up the onion and these potatoes all together with some other ingredients. So that is the next step. While I'm waiting on these potatoes to cool off, I'm going to go ahead and cut up the cabbage because we're going to have corned beef and cabbage and the German potato salad. So I'm going to get this cut up so we can cook that right away after the potatoes are done. Break up some of these a little bit more. Potatoes have cooled off a little bit, so I'm going to take them out of this bowl here and get them cut up into probably 1-inch chunks.
All right, get potatoes cut.
I'm just getting my bacon that I had already cooked up earlier today, just a little bit crispier before I go ahead and crumble it up. I'm gonna go ahead and take this bacon out, and then I'm gonna add in some onion. Oh, I'm scared. I'm gonna let those cook until they're soft and start adding some other ingredients here. My onion is already quite tender, so I'm going to add in a tablespoon of flour, a tablespoon of sugar, 3/4 teaspoons of salt, probably about 3/4 teaspoon, half a teaspoon of celery seed. It's a little bit much. Okay, half teaspoon of celery seed, just 1/8 of a teaspoon of pepper. So I'm just gonna shake a little in there, stir this up here. While my sauce is thickening on the stove behind me, I'm going to go ahead and cut up this bacon. I'm just letting all of the potatoes heat back up here. But after that, I'm going to just taste it, add salt, pepper if necessary, and that is pretty much it for the German potato salad. Alright, that's all the cabbage. Now I'm going to add a tablespoon of water, a tablespoon of white vinegar, a teaspoon of sugar, and a teaspoon of salt. Maybe not a full teaspoon. I'll start with a half. And then I'm going to cover that and cook it on medium-low for a little bit. See how that goes over. I might have to add a little bit more liquid. That's not looking like enough, but we'll try that for now. I'm letting the cabbage steam a little bit more behind me, but right now I'm gonna take out the corned beef that's been cooking in the crock pot for 7.5 hours or so on low. I'm gonna take it out, let it rest for 5 to 10 minutes or however long I can be patient for, and then try to give it a slice and see if it's tender enough or if it needs to go back in for a little longer. The cabbage has been cooking for about 15 minutes. I think it needs a little bit longer, but also the flavor is not where I want it to be. So I'm gonna start by adding some more salt. Ooh, that's really good. I added about another 1 or 2 tablespoons, totaling 3 tablespoons of white vinegar to this, and then I added another tablespoon of sugar and probably another teaspoon or 2 of salt. Just keep tasting it, see how you like it. I like mine extra vinegar flavored, so that's what we got here.
Now that I've taken the corned beef roast out of the crock pot and have let it rest for 5 to 10 minutes, I am going to go ahead and cut it and see if it is tender enough now or if it needs to go back into the crock pot. You'll see I'm cutting against the grain, and as I cut it, it looks absolutely phenomenal. And it is pretty tender, so I am good to go ahead and cut the rest of it up as well. So I'm going to go in for a little bit of a taste test, and man, is this flavor nostalgic to me. It tastes great. I love the way that it came out. It's perfect.
right, I've got my whole spread done and cooked up, and I'm gonna plate it, and I'll show you what my plate looks like. Okay, now that I've officially got everything cooked up, I'm gonna do a little taste test and see how everything turned out. I garnished the German potato salad with a hard-boiled egg. Gonna get a bite with the bacon, onion, and potato in it. That has really good flavor. It's a little sweet from the sugar, but then the bacon flavor comes out, and obviously that vinegar ties it all together. That's really good. We got the corned beef here. Yeah, it's phenomenal. And last but not least, the cabbage. That flavor developed deliciously. I was worried there for a while because I had to keep adding stuff to it, but it's perfect. This is very nostalgic for me. My family used to make this every year around St. Patrick's Day. We'd invite a bunch of family and friends over, and yeah, this is exactly how I remember it. So I'm really glad I was able to make this today and share this with you, and I hope you give it a try. So happy St. Patrick's Day. Okay, I am absolutely stuffed after eating all of that corned beef, cabbage, and potato casserole. I was really hoping to do some gardening this weekend, but as you can see behind me here, it has been snowing and blowing today. The wind is ridiculous out there. For what I'm doing, I want to be able to work out here, and I'm just not going to do that while there's snow on the ground. So hopefully later this week I'll be able to get some more seeds started and give you an update on the seeds that we started last weekend. But for now, I'll be posting this video on Sunday, and then hopefully I'll have a garden update to you by Thursday. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment if you give these recipes a try, and let me know what you think about them. Fergie agrees about the weather. Look at him.